Oh, hey there. Probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, I'm adding a pool heat pump to my above ground swimming pool so I can extend my season. Stick around and we'll show you how we do it. So we're just going to take the wire, gently pull down. The cord is pretty much melted together. So there we have our finished end with our... So pool heaters or pool heat pumps are an excellent way to extend your season on both ends. You can gain up to a month on the beginning of the season and a month on the end season. So it actually extends your pool season by almost 2 months, depending on where you are. So now basically a pool heat pump is a self-contained unit. It comes pre-charged. The Freon runs through a compressor and superheats a coil inside of the unit. So the water runs through the unit and gets heated as it goes inside the coil in there. Now, all heat pumps are different depending on the BTU rating. So the BTU rating starts out relatively small and then it goes up from there. Now, larger pools, usually in ground, require above 100,000 BTU pool heaters. So check the manufacturer's specs when you're ordering it to make sure you get the correct size for your pool. Now, in addition to setting the heat pump in place, it's important, extremely important, have it leveled up. And then you can see on the sides here that it has a water inlet and a water outlet. And the water inlet comes from the filter side of the pool system. So after the water's filtered, it comes out of there and runs into the heat pump. And then the heat pump water outlet runs from there directly back into the pool, so it's getting clean water and the water is filtered when it comes into the heat pump. In addition, I've added these drains for the winter time, so I can just simply drain the water out and I know there's no water in the heat pump, and then it's not going to cause any cracking or freezing. Now basically, when it comes to the electrical, we're going to run from our host panel with a branch circuit. From the branch circuit is going to go to the Spa Buddy or the GFCI protected disconnect, and then from there into the pool heat pump. The GFCI protected disconnect ensures that any leakage to ground over 5 milliamps will trip the GFCI so that there's no issues for anyone getting electrocuted. Now that cable comes all the way over here. It's a piece of Tech 90 copper rated cable because this heat pump calls for copper rated only. So one of the most important things that you need to have with a pool heat pump is a GFI Spa Buddy or GFI protection offered on the heat pump itself to protect of course, any faults going to ground, so that you don't get electrocuted. Now in this particular place, in this particular example, the pool heat pump requires a 50 amp GFCI breaker. So you can see that we have our feed coming from the house, which is number 6, which is right here, and that's hooked in on the box on either side of the circuit panel. So coming out of there, we have the 50 amp breaker, and that comes out and goes directly to the heat pump. Now this neutral here comes up to the neutral bar, as well as the neutral from the branch circuit that comes from the house. Now how a GFCI works with a 240 volt circuit is it detects the unbalanced load between the two hots. Any leakage to ground or neutral, then the GFCI will trip. So it's important that I get the tech connector on here right, the wet tech connector, to fit this piece of 6'3" tech cable that I have the glue cut out of. So once we get it on and get the casing stripped back, I'm just going to show you the casing. You can see there's the casing stripped back inside. We're going to shove it all the way down and stick our channel locks on it to tighten it up. And once we have that tightened up as tight as we can get it with the channel locks, we're going to go ahead and stick it in our knockout in the bottom of the connector box to go up to the bottom of that contactor where it says L1 and L2. So once we've got our connector entered into the connection box, we're going to go ahead and tighten our lock nut down and make sure it's snug. Now these connectors are rated for a wet rating or an outdoor use rating, so that they'll stand up against the weather. And then there's also a bushing that needs to go on top of that. And the bushing just keeps the wire or the cable from shorting out inside the connector box over time. Now you can see inside the connector box that we have the 3 wires now, that we have the blue cut out. We have the red and the black, which are going to go on L1 and L2 up here underneath the terminals as per the manufacturer's recommendations. The ground itself is actually going to go underneath the ground lug. Now I just wanted to mention about this number 6 ground that's on the outside of the heat pump, that this number 6 ground is meant for a bond. It's actually a number 6 bond that you can bond to an in-ground swimming pool if you wish. However, I don't really see too much faith in that, because if you look inside here, it comes up to a little piece of number 10 wire which just connects on, which goes back to this anyway, and that's all connected together by metal. So I'm feeling that the connection of the ground off of the main cable is going to be good enough in this situation. So now that I have my ground connected, I'm going to go ahead and connect the red and the black to the L1 and L2. And I should take notice or show you that up underneath here, there's a number of other stake-ons that are coming out, going to a variety of other applications for the contactor for the starter, and going to the capacitors, and then over to the circuit board. However, it's really important that when we get this wire up underneath here, as you can see from the screwdriver, that you need to get it up and underneath the lug so that these don't fall out, and then make sure that we get these screws nice and tight. So now that we've gone ahead and put our wires in underneath our connectors, we're okay to go and close the unit up, and then we'll put the covers back on. So as you can see, we're coming over to the front of the display board, and of course we have it set on 92 for spa mode because my wife likes it very warm. And then what happens is once it goes below 92, obviously it cycles on. We have it set for 90 actually, so it's a bit warmer today, but I'm going to turn it up to 93, and that's going to take 3 minutes to sense that, and then it's going to start the heat pump. So pool heaters or pool heat pumps are an excellent way to extend your season on both ends. You can gain up to a month on the beginning of the season and a month on the end season. So it actually extends your pool season by almost 2 months, depending on where you are. Now, pool heaters, unlike gas heat pumps, require a bit more electricity to run them, especially pool heat pumps. So they start around 12,000 BTU and they go right up to 140,000 BTU. That's right, 140,000 BTU. Now the feed sizes in 240 volt or 220 volt increase accordingly with the BTU. So for example, a 40 or 50,000 BTU heat pump may be only 20 or 25 amps, as opposed to a 140,000 BTU in-ground heat pump may be up to 60 amps. So make sure you check the manufacturer's specifications when ordering your heat pump, that it'll align with your feed, or that you can give your electrician the information so they can give you a price on installing the GFCI protection and the branch circuit to the unit. And obviously efficiency matters when it comes to these, and you get what you pay for. So the more you pay for a heat pump, obviously the better the efficiency is, the better the warranty is, and the cheaper it's going to be on your electric bill to heat your swimming pool. So that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see future videos or more information on this type of content. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, never do your own electrical work. Always consult your own local licensed electrician, and we'll see you next time.